Welcome to the slightly late daily cyber briefing for Monday, the 3rd of June. I'm Stephen Ridgway. Red-tail crypto mining malware is exploiting a vulnerability in Panos. It's crypto mining malware, probably of North Korean origin. And it is exploiting a vulnerability in Palo Alto Networks operating system. Patches are available for this, so it is very much recommended if you're using Panos that you make sure you are on the most up-to-date version of Panos. In particular, vulnerabilities tracked as CVE 2024-3400. It allows arbitrary file creation, and that it enables command execution with root privileges. So fairly serious, definitely worth updating if you're using Panos. The hacker group 888 has claimed responsibility for a significant data breach at Shell, the multinational oil and gas company. The compromise appears to have been focused mainly on Australian users, but individuals from the UK, US, Australia, France, India, Singapore, the Philippines, Netherlands, Malaysia, and Canada have all had data stolen. So currently, there is no official statement from Shell regarding this, but undoubtedly there will be an update coming at some time in the not too distant future. Oil and gas companies have been, are targets for many groups. Not only is there the usual anti-Western disruption stuff going on, there's also a whole load of environmental activists and all sorts of other people that target them. So, hopefully Shell will recover quickly, but hopefully we'll get some information about what exactly has been going on. The FBI has taken down a huge, they're describing it as a global army of zombie computer devices in cybersecurity news this morning, but it's basically just a botnet. Well done to the FBI for that one. This is the 911 S5 botnet. It's been running for almost a decade, which is, in terms of all things technical and cyber, that's an eon. So wow, been going for a long time. That is good news. It is. And just to put it in context, the size of these things varies, but it was something in the region of 19 million compromised computers. And the FBI have apprehended a Chinese national in relation to this. So, again, do bear in mind that some of these attacks are very likely linked to parts of the world that don't share Western values. Blah blah blah. I've spoken about it before. What can you do? Well, obviously, avoid getting your computer taken over. Keep software up to date. Make sure that if you've got any Internet of Things (IoT) devices, that they're properly configured. Limit access to devices is one of the best things. So segregate or air gap things, especially IoT devices, from anything more critical to limit the impact of a compromise, and obviously use multi-factor authentication where you can. Then a quick heads up, Google has announced that it is changing the way that extensions work. So not sure, if you're not a developer, you may not be aware of this, but there are different extension environments within Chrome. Environment's probably not the right word, but you know what I mean. So the current one, the one that most people are aware of or using extensions for is called Manifest v2. They are going to begin to phase out Manifest v2 I believe, the 3rd of June. So today, in fact. So starting from today and Chrome version 127, if you are using Manifest v2 extensions, you'll see warnings on Chrome Beta, Dev, or Canary, and Manifest v2 extensions lose their featured badge. Well, I don't really know whether a badge matters, but there we go. So gradual disabling of v2 extensions will follow on the stable Chrome release, recommendations to move to v3 alternatives. For a while, you will be able to re-enable v2 extensions, but they will eventually be removed. If you're an enterprise and you're using the extension Manifest v2 availability policy, then you're going to get an extra year in which to sort yourselves out. Now, v3, what does it matter? Well, it's got some security improvements, so it limits extensions access to user network requests. It forces developers to include all the functionality within the extension, including where previously the code has been hosted remotely. Got to be a good thing. It moves network request modifications from the extension to the browser via service workers, and it replaces background pages with dedicated service workers to improve browser performance. The only thing is, it is going to change the way that ad blockers work. So if you are using ad blockers, do expect there to be updates, changes, and they may, at least until the developers get their heads around how to deal with this stuff, they may well be less effective than before. If you can hear the noise outside, there's a guy with a strimmer doing some gardening next door. Perfect living timing. Right, a couple of things then just to finish off with. We spoke last week about PC Tattletale, which makes software in one of my least favourite categories of spyware and stalkerware, which is, I'm sure, not really used for monitoring your children and your employees. Well, it looks like they have shut down, according to this article in Bitdefender, they've shut down their operations. So, yeah, well, I can't say. I feel sorry for anybody who is using it for legitimate reasons, who's now lost access to the service that they've paid for. Everybody else, well, you shouldn't be using spyware anyway. So it is I think, a good reminder that taking cybersecurity seriously as a business is very important. There are stats out there around how long companies remain in business after a cyber breach or whatever. I can't remember the stats, but a lot of companies that were breached do struggle going forward. Although I suspect that because of the how common data breaches, cyber attacks are these days, that old link between you will go out of business if you've been hacked probably doesn't or isn't as true as it used to be. However, I think also the hit to reputation is something else that I think organisations perhaps not taking putting quite enough thought into as part of their incident response plans. I'm sure PC Tattletale would really wish that they hadn't hit the cyber news in quite the way that they have, and I'm sure that their decision to shut down business is partly going to be a response to the fact that, well, they're supposed to be delivering what they call security software, and they've right royally messed it up. Why would you do business with them? And then finally, from me today, there is a global push to look at autonomous vehicles, AVs, so basically cars that drive themselves. I think there's some really, really clever stuff going on in that field, but I am personally of the opinion that governments are jumping on bandwagons by enabling this stuff before it's really ready. And my concerns are mostly around the cybersecurity side, obviously, of these cars, but there is an interface. There's a join between the cybersecurity and real world security with these things. And there's an article here in the Register, a good article, that shows that researchers can crash Baidu robocars using tin foil and paint daubed on cardboard. So the particular attacks are focused on the camera, the camera and radar interactions. So basically, to quote, extensive experiments based on real-world autonomous vehicle testbeds show that the proposed attack can continuously hide a target vehicle from the perception system of the victim AV using only two small adversarial objects. Basically, it's just not ready, is it? So this attack uses wave, so I'm guessing millimeter wave reflection. So the signals provide, which are the signals that provide object detection. So they basically bounce them off a smooth metal surface, i.e. Tin foil. So the researchers say this is low cost and easily fabricated. Yes, well, if you can make something out of tin foil and coloured patches on cardboard, that is really quite concerning. This comes off the back of one that really amused me around autonomous vehicles. But rules around obeying road signs. So if you paint a stop sign of about the right size and about the right colour on a bit of cardboard and then put it up on a road, autonomous vehicles have been shown to stop because they're being told to stop. And because there's no other indicators as to what to do, presumably, they will remain stopped. This stuff is just not ready. The thing that worries me is that we are moving towards trials of things without having ever thought about what would happen if somebody maliciously tried to manipulate cars. So you can argue, yes, but that doesn't happen in the real world. Well, I can bet you that it would happen in the real world if you were to go forward with something that is as ill thought out as this. So, yeah. Wouldn't it be nice if you thought that the speed limit outside your house was too high and you could just put up another one and autonomous vehicles will stick to it? really, really nice ideas floating around in here. Anyway, that is all from me for today. I hope you have